actually one of my favorite romantic songs.
But somehow still lived on.
And I realize I have kind of weird standards, but you don't get much better than this. This is love right here.
I was the star that went on top. I wish I was the evidence. I wish I was the grounds for 50 million hands upraised and open toward the sky.
One of the lines here, I wish it was the full moon shining off a Camaro's hood. I mean, come on! I don't know. I like this. Just kind of being offbeat. Otherwise,
Yeah, I like it.
I've already played the Book of Love. The Book of Love. For all of you. Also going to post up there this Kevin Williamson guy with the National Review. I can't stand this dude. He's the one who wanted all these blue-collar communities to die. He's a never-Trumper guy. Now he's basically, his latest missive is, why don't you just move? Americans have a long tradition of just moving to other places. Why don't you just move to a better place? He's taking the Sam Kinison approach to world hunger. Remember Sam Kinison and his talk about how no wonder, like we had to make these people go someplace where they can actually grow food because they live in the desert, which was funny. But it's not a policy. But anyway, that's what we're getting from our esteemed National Review. Speaking of comedians, Giles has... Doug Giles.
It's only through your show, your Clash Daily, other sources for news. Would you even get that kind of intel?
Has an update on... well, I think we can call this black privilege. Apparently there is such a thing. If you're a black comedian calling for the assassination of a white president, you're okay. If you're a white comedian who might call for the assassination of a black president, you're racist and you're horrible and you're this and you're that. I would not want anybody calling for the assassination of a president, but Eddie Griffin apparently is a lucky guy, right? Doug Giles?
Yeah, man. And not only does Eddie, the comedian, get by with it, but we got the CEO of a cybersecurity company with ties to the CIA threatens to assassinate Trump. Who else we have? A liberal journalist tweeted out Trump should be assassinated. Let's see what else we got. Madonna, of course, said she thought of blowing up the White House. CEO of, I think it's Magnatone, a major guitar amp company, threatened Trump's assassination. No word from CNN. And then when you pay good money, Jamie, to go laugh your butt off, kind of decompress from the week, you rock up to Dallas, Texas, you go see Eddie Griffin, and you get an earful of, hey, Dallas, why don't you guys take care of Trump like you did JFK? And then he rehearses for 2 to 5 minutes a video, Jamie, that has been taken down from this thing called the Internet and Facebook, of him rehearsing how us rednecks here in Texas could off Trump. And it's a big knee slapper. It's a hee-haw time. And, CNN gives it a pass. FBI doesn't investigate. But you can bet your lucky stripes and your lucky stars that if you and I did that about a black politician, OMG, man, we would be flambéed and skewered.
Yeah. I mean, absolutely. I find that interesting how, this environment, I mean, even on Twitter, you have some of these women and talking about the old white male and old this. I mean, it's interesting how identity politics, these guys just love this stuff.
Yeah, and Trump calls Rosie a pig. The left loses their mind, misogynist, bastard, blah, blah, blah. Ann Coulter is conservative, or other females conservative. They go into the worst words imaginable. The FCC would pull the plug on your show if I rehearsed what they again lambaste those ladies on the right with. But the left, quadruple standards, get a free pass. Look how they're going after Ivanka, man. That's disgusting. She can't even rock up to a gym with an alias in D.C. without the D.C. gym owner attacking her and putting Ivanka on full blast because she's protecting her people, man.
Yeah.
From the wiles and the and the schemes of her father, Donald Trump.
I saw that. And, back to Ann Coulter for a second. Remember when they did the Comedy Central roast? And Ann Coulter was part of this. And
that was brutal, brother. That was brutal.
Well, I
think they called it a C word, 19 times?
Well, and then the rape references were about as frequent as well. Talking about raping her and using the C word and all this kind of stuff. And not a peep was said about any of that stuff.
Well, we've got I don't know if you saw this latest dig at Melania Trump from the ever fair and balanced New York Times reporter at New York Fashion Week. Emily Ratajkowski, you know Emily, Jamie?
No.
Oh, she's easy on the eyes. Let me put it that way.
All right.
Yeah, very famous young actress. I think she's in Gone Girl or something like that with Ben Affleck, and we'll just pray that God forgive her for that. But anyway, she's sitting next to the New York Times reporter at one of the fashion shows, and the reporter says that Melania looks like a hooker. Now, this is, again, a reporter, journalist stuff, supposed to be somewhat, bland when it comes to political biases. And so he slut-shames the First Lady. And, again, imagine if somebody went after Michelle and started describing how she looked, and they were, quote-unquote, a reporter from a major magazine, what would happen to them. But the cool thing is that Emily Ratajkowski, she came to Melania's defense. Now, Emily is no conservative, but, man, she beat that reporter on Twitter up and down a wall and called him out for, again, going after the First Lady. So a shiny silver lining on an otherwise dark liberal cloud. You got this Hollywood newbie who's probably going to get crushed for defending Melania. She goes to bat for her. So what do you give people who do that, Jamie? 1,000 points in a case of Lone Star, something like that?
Yeah, exactly. Well, you know what? I mean, if you look at Joy Villa, so far, actually, it's worked out pretty positively for her, but still on Twitter, she's getting hammered. I mean, and you've had people, you talk about the C word. I got into it with a guy who is, like he said he's an actor or something, and he's a black guy, and he used the C word to describe her. That wasn't the C word you're thinking of. It's the other C word, and it racially a racial epithet. And I was like, dude, how can you possibly claim to be this liberal mantle, and you sit there and call somebody else, even who's your own race, the C word? I can't believe you'd even do that. And he's like, whatever. He's the guy with like 13,000 followers, but then he posts something and he's got like 5 likes. He's like, is that fake, by the way?
Yeah, it sounds like you bought them.
Okay.
I mean, I've got 1.1 million on Facebook, and we have an engagement rate of 10 to 12 million. And I can show you those stats.
Right. I was just wondering whether this guy was for real.
Here's something about y'all, the people at the Grammys, and J-Lo's getting all dust up, and Katy Perry's going off. And speaking of Facebook and social media and the advent of becoming a celebrity or of notes without going through the channels that these little charm puppies went through, is that we can crush them.
Yeah,
you put on your radio show and you righteously whiz on how that they're hypocrites, and they have these insane quadruple standards when it comes to the vile things that they say versus the hell that they would rain down on anybody, a libertarian or right of center, would say to one of their lovelies. And you're reaching masses. When we put it out on Facebook and through our mailers on ClashDaily.com, we're reaching millions. And we can just circumvent these morons. And I think they're going to talk their way out of jobs. I think people aren't going to buy their products. I know when they're going after Ivanka, there's a big hashtag campaign to buy Ivanka. With all these stores like, we're not going to carry anything that has Trump ties to it. It's like, all right, then you know what? Have fun eating sawdust, because we're going to take our business elsewhere.
Well, I love the fact that the other day, with your help and the help of the Gateway Pundit, when I tweeted out after they had blocked the school door for Betsy DeVos, when I didn't want her to go into the school, I automatically thought of George Wallace, a well-known racist Democrat who blocked the school door in Alabama, and I put the picture out and talked about how, well, at least Democrats seem consistent in blocking school doors. I said, dude, can you retweet this? I wound up getting like 17,000 views of that tweet thanks to you and the Gateway Pundit. So you're absolutely right. We can crush these folks.
Yeah, we are, and I think your efforts in the run-up to the general election and clashes of just jackhammering the left day after day, week after week over at our website got us Donald Trump.
Yeah,
and steered this nation right to center. But man, I'm telling you, your listening audience, just watch how the left responds to women. Watch how they respond to black libertarians or conservatives. Watch how they call for violence against the sitting president, and just let it sink in. Drink a cup of coffee, smoke a cigar, something like that, and just let it sink in. How these babies, these pussified college crybabies that sit there and just mourn and bemoan that they didn't get their way, and just realize that that's the kind of weirdo that you're dealing with. So next time you rock up to your family reunion, you got that liberal aunt with a mustache, you might want to sit 2 seats down from her because she might go off on you.
Well, that's why speaking of comedians, I have the other comedian that you point out, Scott Stratton, up on the electric stove, which was great. It ties perfectly into the pussification thing. You want to hear what he had to say real quickly? I'll play this. I know you know, but let's listen to the...
What we mean by millennials when we say that word is people younger than us, and we don't like you.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a disparagement. It's like when we say to somebody in Texas down here, well, God bless you, that means you can go to hell.
And you know what? I mean, I work with millennials, the good conservative kind, and they're awesome here. But this guy was very funny, and it plays perfectly into the pussification book, so love it.
And I think millennials they got sold a bag of goods, and they're realizing that that they bought it and ran with the glide path that the liberals and the public school system sent them down. I think they're looking for mentors that kick them into shape, give them vision, goals, and turn them into provider, protectors, hunters, and heroes. And I think they'll be on that like stink on a monkey.
Some of the guys I can recognize from your book were there at the Women's March beating up women, reporters and the like, and then being protected by females. So you really, and they look just like the guys you depict in the book. So good job.
Man bun, skinny jeans, soft, pudgy, pink skin, deep V-neck T-shirts, more tattoos than a Maori warrior, and more bangles than a Maasai.
Oh, what kind of gun is that you're holding in that picture, by the way? What is that? 40.
That's a 500 Smith & Wesson Magnum. It's a 10-inch barrel, and that's my buddy Wayne Woods' sidearm when he's in deep bear country up in the Chugach National Forest hunting brown bears and grizzlies with me.
I love it, bud. All right, Doug Giles, thanks for all your help, man, and thanks for being with us, too.
Stay rowdy, Jim.
All right, you too, at Doug_Giles, ClashDaily.com. Happy Valentine's Day.
Traffic.